Hello, cohorts, and I am doing our last discussion post in the airport. I am getting ready to leave to come home. I've been in training all week at the Abbott Institute in Tampa, Florida. So forgive me if there's any background announcements and that kind of thing. At any rate, our discussion this week centers around the last three um, markers in our Horizon report. And the first one is the LMS, Next Generation LMS. And LMS stands for Learning Management Systems. And they tell us in the reading that it also refers to virtual learning environments. And what I found particularly interesting in this is that one of the schools of thought when it comes to LMS, and it was supported by the study that Bill and Melinda Gates had pushed forward with, is that there is no common thread across multiple layers of education. What I mean is we use Canvas here at Abilene. Our school, my site, my district has access to Canvas, but we do not use it. There are only a handful of folk that have been trained using Canvas. However, even the ones that have been trained don't use it to fidelity. I have been trained with Canvas, and when I've tried to use it independently, there have been there have been moments when it was successful and moments when it failed, and in part because it is such a media-rich environment that if kids are trying to work on and again, I'm looking at these through the lenses of a high school professional. Not everyone yet has access to the same level of technology as in higher ed. So it makes it a little bit different when I try to do things with them using Canvas. Another thing that they talked about was how faculty and students leverage tools such as Google Apps, WordPress, Slack, and iTunes University. But again, these applications are generally outside of a LMS. I apologize for the background noise. The next one that we were looking at on the Horizon report was artificial intelligence. And advancements in computer science are being leveraged right now to create intelligent machines that more closely resemble humans in their function, AI. And we see this when you go now to most business sites. They have a virtual attendant, something that can answer your questions virtually. Even now, when you call for a service on your cable, there is a virtual attendant that tries to resolve your issue before putting an actual human being on the line. So we see this as something that is actually growing in popularity as technology grows. The only issue not the only issue, some of the things that we have to be careful of is becoming too reliant on that kind of interaction and that kind of technology. And then we'll find ourselves losing the human touch. I know that there are sometimes I've been on the phone with my phone company and I have repetitively gone through a loop in an attempt to speak to a human on the other end. And I think that has been the experience of a lot of individuals. There's nothing that will ever take the place of the human connection. So that's something that we need to be concerned with as we delve even the more into artificial technology. And then the last one is natural user interfaces. which is basically built around the natural uses of humans when they interact with technology, like swipes, touching, taps, arm motions, body movements. Like, for example, my new iPhone X, I'm not going to plug Apple products, I'm really not. But for example, with that, it has the facial recognition when you are sending some of the emojis now, and they can actually mimic your face and you can put your voice to the emoji, and it does all the facial features. It makes all the facial motions that you make, and behind it is your voice. That would be how we naturally interface with some of our technology, because it follows your head movement and that kind of thing. We see this is going to happen with some of the upcoming Google lenses that track your eyeball movement. We see that with some of the adaptive learning interfaces that try to use some of the natural motions of people who may be restricted in their motion or restricted to certain areas of their physicality that is able to function in a manner that is natural. So we're seeing this become more and more the norm. We have touchscreen whiteboards that we operate with just the touch versus how they used to with the keyboard. So we're going to see this market grow. And with all of these adaptations, we're going to see the need for technology to be more tactile, meaning that the more you can interact with the technology on a natural level, the more you're apt to use it. Even when it comes to your LMS systems, the more that they are accessible and that kids and folk can interact with them using natural interfaces, the greater the use and the greater flexibility that they offer. So that's my take on this week's reading. I look forward to reading and hearing what others have written and posted about them. Thank you.